do you believe that we have enough strategic leverage with US to reverse or soften these measures? Of course, we will get to know on 1st of August, hopefully. Do we have anything to bring it to the table, like, or the story is a begging ball saying that, okay, we have defaulted, give some tariff relief? Or do we have really any leverage that we can really put on the table and say, look, we are open for a negotiation?
I guess if you're asking whether there is anyone can pick up a phone and do a Machang Trump kind of call and fix this, I think that might not be possible. And also, I guess there's no point talking to anyone else actually, because actually most of the decision making, the style of decision making is very personalized. The first thing we need to kind of get our minds around is, what does softening mean? Does softening mean 30 coming to 25 or 20 or less? Or is softening meaning that we are going, that's in absolute terms, is it that we are going to comparatively with our other competitors have some space? The third aspect which we wouldn't know and must worry about in future is what are going to be what might be knock-on effects, secondary tariffs, which could be imposed on raw materials which go into our products. But I think on the strategic leverage aspect, there is some difficulty in dealing with this particular situation because it is a single plane issue. It is on trade. So you don't have too much leverage. The EU's GSP Plus has some leverage. You get your Human Rights Act together, then you will have what is there. Here, that opportunity is not there. Thankfully, the human rights issue is not there. And that is, from a Sri Lankan perspective, something which, given the prominence the US was playing in the early period, that is somewhat a salvation. Now, in the past, always, the US-Sri Lanka relationship has been either we are with them or we are against them. We never have been able to get it to a point which was sustainable. And the US also, it's not necessarily our fault. I think the US also has been all over the place. Sometimes, you know, they've kind of come to us direct. Sometimes they've used us as a secondary to India. And so therefore it has not sustained. So maybe the strategic leverage we have is to ensure predictability on the regional security issue. And when I mean predictability, I don't mean that we must bandwagon with the United States. But if offering predictability in Sri Lanka is something that would be useful to them, that we will be responsible about how we deal with our country and our territory, then that can have spillover effects which will benefit other relationships as well, and eventually it will benefit Sri Lanka as well, because we won't have to be doing this juggle of, you know, playing games. We must win the respect of all our interlocutors that there is something predictable about Sri Lanka's foreign policy, that what is today will, all things being equal, be the same tomorrow. So I think that, I think, is the strategic leverage we could use to try to ensure that we get a fair shake. I would also pay a lot of attention to looking at what do we do as a reaction domestically. So you need to kind of prepare the industry, you need to prepare your markets, you got to prepare your alternatives, and are we there?
Geopolitics and International Trade, a Sri Lankan Perspective, organized by the Centre for Law and Security Studies, a high-level forum brought together global voices and local experts to explore Sri Lanka's role in a shifting geopolitical and trade landscape.